Because they're coming off a very impressive victory against Fenerbahce in the Turkish Super League, let's talk about Trabzonspor, the team from the Black Sea in the northeast of Turkey. Because of that location, they are nicknamed the Black Sea Storm. This is an away kit from 2011, and while the black really goes well with that nickname, the muted gold isn't one of their common colors. Their home colors are distinctive in being claret and blue stripes, which legend has it they took from their first ever kits donated to them when they were founded in 1967, which are from the English club Aston Villa, who wear the same colors. The key thing to know about Turkish football right out of the gate is it's generally dominated by teams from Istanbul, with Trabzonspor being the team that generally pushes back against that. They've won 7 Turkish top-flight titles. They were the first team outside of Istanbul to win it in 1976, and are one of only 2 clubs that have ever done so, alongside Bursaspor. They also do quite well in the cup competitions, having won the Turkish Cup 9 times and the country's Super Cup 10 times. Their finest era is easily the late 70s into the early 80s, where they won a glut of their titles, 6 of them, including 3 in a row at the end of the 70s, on top of 3 cups and 2 doubles. They are the reigning Turkish champions, having won the title for the first time in 38 years, breaking a long stretch of Istanbul dominance. Being that they're the largest Turkish club outside of Istanbul, generally their rivalries are with those Istanbul clubs, especially the big 3 of Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, and Beşiktaş. Take a quick look at their badge. It's a shield with a little bit of a swoop across the top that mirrors the lettering inside, which is the club's initials, T and S, with a football on top, as well as a star for 5+ league titles, and their founding year, 1967. They have a brand new stadium as of this decade, named after former player as well as manager, Şenol Güneş. Pretty common thing you'll see in Turkish football is for a stadium for a club to be named after a former manager, owner, or player of note, a commonality that they share with a lot of South American clubs. As far as former players, this last decade has seen a lot of success for forwards at Trabzon, with a few of them making moves to other European leagues based off success there. Names such as Andreas Cornelius, Alexander Sorloth, who was on loan to the club, as well as Burak Yilmaz, making moves into larger European leagues. They have a couple really exciting players in their current squad, as well as one older name that a lot of Italian fans will notice. Their star player this season is inarguably Tassos Bakasetas, the Greek player who's come to the club in 2021 and has scored 18 league goals already, as well as being a great distributor of the ball from an attacking midfielder position. Their best young talent is also in their midfield, that being Abdulkadir Ömür. He's been with the club since his youth days, and at 23 still has a high ceiling. He's one of the rising talents in Turkish football. He's very comfortable on the ball and a great passer with good vision. They made a really good signing this offseason, bringing Trezeguet from Aston Villa, having seen him play with Istanbul Başakşehir in half of the previous season. He's probably the second best Egyptian winger in the world right now, and he was nicknamed after the famous French player of the same last name. And the name that Italian Serie A fans will notice is Marek Hamšík plays for the club after his time at Napoli, also world-renowned for his mohawk. With all these players, they are a fun attacking team. I didn't get to see all of it during their match against Fenerbahce. There was a bit of rust coming out of the World Cup, but they played and dominated pretty well, and I expect that they're going to pick up the pace and challenge to retain their crown in the Turkish Super League going into the second half of the season.